I've got Vinny Valalong, who was the president of the Sergeants, the SBA. I've got the chief, John Shell. Everybody loves John Shell. And I've got on the phone another guy we all love, Kaz Daughtry. But before I introduce all three of you, let me congratulate John. I just found out that you, in fact, are part of the decision-making process to pick the next pope.
Well, Sid, I'm a confidential informant on that, and you just blew me up to the Catholic Church. I appreciate that. But I will be weighing in at Rome this afternoon.
It wouldn't shock me, to be honest. It wouldn't shock me. Kaz, are you on the phone there, Mr. Daughtry? How are you?
Hey, what's going on, Sid? Sorry I couldn't make it. I was out till about 1:30 in the morning last night in New York City working.
You're working? I hope you were beating up those Palestinians in Crown Heights.
I was keeping an eye on that. That was a little bizarre, but thankfully nobody was injured. So.
Yeah, it's always bizarre, but for the most part, there are no injuries, which is good news. Now, Vincent has been on the program twice, and Kaz, you really played the biggest role in this. I appreciate all the thanks, and Vinny's been over the top nice to me, but it was a phone call to you that spearheaded this effort to get the contract done. So here we are now, a couple of weeks later, and you guys are still kind of basking in the glory, yes?
Well, I'm waiting to land the plane right now because I have about another week and a half before the ballots come back. In 3 days, we have 78% that came back.
78%?
Yep.
In 3 days?
Yep.
So that's a pretty good number, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so it's like another 3 days. You think that'll be it? You'll be done?
No, we have till the 5th.
Somebody they asked me the other day, we know there's more money in this deal, which you guys deserve, obviously, but I know I asked you this before. Is the 12-hour overtime shift gone? Is that gone? Not really.
There's a few concessions that had to be made. There's a pilot that is very minimal when it comes to the numbers.
Okay. So, I mean, obviously there's a compromise here. I get it. There was going to be a compromise. So you couldn't get everything you wanted, but clearly you guys are happy with the deal.
I'm happy with the deal, absolutely.
Okay. And your people are. Okay,
Yep.
Great.
I mean, this board worked extremely hard in order to get it done.
Okay, so there's another issue. Some guy, Bob Ganley?
Yep.
Obviously, Bob Ganley, John?
Yes, I do, yes.
So after Vinny comes in, and he got the sergeant's deal done, again with the help of Kaz, this guy reaches out to me, Tommy Burns, I think, for Jimmy Burns, for Bob Ganley. And he says, there's all these retirees out there, and they're not getting their right health care. They're getting screwed. The Medicare, they're getting screwed. So literally a week after, I helped Vinny with this campaign, Ganley called in and said, we need better health care for the city retirees. This is not an NYPD issue. It's a city issue. But can you fix this?
Well, it's the first time hearing it. Deputy Mayor of Public Safety's on. He's got more of a reach than I do. Kaz want to weigh in here?
Yeah, Kaz, you made the call last time, and I'll tell you this. Ganley did bring your name up to John Shell's point that you could probably help with this too. Can you?
Well, this is the first I'm hearing about this, Sid. I'll let you in a little secret. I'm that man.
I believe it, man. I believe it. You know why? Because I called you once into action, and you made it happen. So you can say that, and I'm with you. So now you helped out the sergeants. Now, Kaz, it's time to help out the retirees, okay?
Sid, I got to tell you, between the workout, the chest you were talking about this morning, you are the great facilitator.
Actually, he's a big-time guy.
I'm a big-time guy.
That's right, you're a big-time guy. Yes,
very good.
Big-time guy.
I'm a big-time guy, okay? Hey, please, I'm begging you not to play that ever again. It's embarrassing. Hey, some guy actually sent a box of T-shirts that says I'm a big-time guy. He ordered the Met game a couple nights ago.
Do you want to know what big-time guys actually get?
What do big-time guys actually get?
So, you know that you're very well respected within my rank now for helping us facilitate this contract.
Thank you.
So, we're allowed to actually bestow upon you to make you an honorary sergeant.
No, that's not true. Was that true?
It is absolutely true.
It's true.
So what I did and why I wanted to come down here was to present you with this.
Oh, my God. Wow, this is a real badge.
Sid gone speechless, New York City.
Wow. It's going to make me cry. This is a real badge. This is a real deal.
It's actually really nice.
Kaz, it's a gold badge. Like at this point, I can at this point go out in the street and rough up folks and all that.
Don't say that.
No, I can't say that.
There'll be no more, Sid. There'll be no more penne and chicken parmesan.
if you look at the back of it, it actually is engraved. I don't need you to pull it out now, but it's done the right way.
This is really beautiful. All kidding. I mean, you've been so nice to me, but this is a little over the top.
You were very nice to us, and you didn't have to do what you did either.
Wow.
So at the end of the day, it's always best to take care of your friends. And what you did for the SBA and what you did for the members of the sergeants of the city, should be, it should be recognized.
Wow. And you even put
Vinny left out the most important part. Plus, he's a big-time guy.
I wanted to put that on the ID, but it didn't get done.
But you got my picture in here and all that. This is really pretty incredible. I can't thank you enough. Seriously, this means a lot to me. This means a lot to me. I love you guys. Look, I go back to that summer of 2020 when and John and you, Kaz, and you guys were just, to say you were maligned would be an understatement. You too, Vin. What you guys had to go through. And even now, it's far from perfect to maintain respect. John, you leave your house every day looking to help New Yorkers, put your life on the line. And in my opinion, there are still way too many people in this city, in this state, that are unappreciative.
You're right, there are, but there are so many more New Yorkers that are appreciative. They really are. And, I think I said a couple weeks ago I was here, we talk about it. We get to talk about the success, but the young cops out there, we have some seriously great young cops and frontline supervisors, sergeants out there. These are young men and women that fight the fight every night. Yeah. And that's where the beauty of it comes in. And for the naysayers, we're not going to be able to control everyone's talking nice about us. So the majority of New York City people know what we do, and they're very thankful. And we work for them.
I think you're right. I think it is a majority. And Kaz, John was in a couple of weeks ago, and he was talking specifically about the crime numbers. You were going to stop by that week as well. And why not give yourself a little pat on the back, Kaz? Give me some of those numbers and the actual facts that crime in this city is down.
Sid, for the fifth straight quarter, crime has went down. For the fifth straight quarter, Sid, shootings down, homicides down. Listen, there are still homicides, and every homicide matters to us. We don't look at it as just a number, and nobody wants to hear numbers in the city. They don't want to hear numbers. They don't want to hear crime numbers because the perception that crime is, that New York City is and lawless is completely not true. But the department and the city uses numbers to track the progress of how we're doing as a city. The mayor says it all the time that this is the safest big city in America. However, when we have incidents on the subway systems, when we have, for example, the grandmother that was walking outside that heard a commotion and walked outside the beauty salon, the only thing is struck by one of these unattended bullets that struck her in the head and killed her. That just gives the perception that the city is out of control. And listen, that to the creep that decided to fire 6 rounds at that grandmother, we're very close and zeroing into you. And that creep, that loser, will be brought to justice for what he did, and he should be under the jail.
He should. No, you're right though. Like Noam does the news, and he starts the morning. There's always 2 or 3 stories, and we're like, wait a second, this is a safe city. This guy got shot in Brooklyn. This grandmother got murdered in the Bronx. But again, you have millions and millions and millions and millions of people. So if there are 2 or 3 shootings in the big scheme of things, in the numbers, it's not necessarily as bad as we think. But the perception is the perception. Tell me this, sergeants, Vin, have been running out of this city because it was a bad deal. And you had to deal with that the last couple of years. Do you think with the new contract that A, there'll be more promotions, and B, these officers will be ready to stay, and maybe even more will join the force?
All you ask for is to get paid what it is you deserve and what you're worth. And yes, that was the whole goal of this, is to make sure that we keep our people. This is about retention now. You have the best of the best. You want to keep them. You do not want them going any other places. And we're dedicated to this city, and we always have been. I mean, we give up our holidays. We spend some of our Christmases away from our families in neighborhoods that we never even knew existed when we were kids.
Yeah.
And we get an attachment to that, and that's what makes us New Yorkers. We have an investment in this city that is far-reaching than any politician that's out there that talks. They talk the talk. We walk the walk.
That's the bottom line. Again, that's Vin Vallalon, the president of the SBA. He gave me this beautiful badge, him and John Shell and Kaz Daughtry. So, Johnny, you weren't at the Crown Heights at the action last night, but you were on the phone all night long. So anytime there's any rally, whether it's in the city at Columbia, whether it's this one in Brooklyn, you got to be part of the operation, even if you're not there personally, right?
Correct. So last night we had protesters show up at 770 Eastern Parkway, a big synagogue in Crown Heights, and a little contentious between protesters and the worshipers.
How many people you estimate showed up?
About 40 people. So it was loud, it was contentious, but again, on the phone with my borough commander, and we had cops there like we always do, which is good. That presence helps de-escalate. There was some words back and forth, a couple of arrests, but nothing major to that extent. But this is the world we live in. Like I said last time, protests since October 7th, we're probably pushing 6,000 at this point. More than half of them probably Israeli-Palestine protests. So, hate to say we're well-versed in it, but we're well-versed in it.
No, it's happening a lot. So, Kaz, I mean, it is happening a lot. And my fear is, I spoke about this with John and Vin last time, even the crime numbers, let's not kid ourselves. People don't like the cold, okay? Even killers, they're home. But as the weather gets warmer, and in July when they're out there smoking weed and drinking their 40s and, letting all the water out all over the street, next thing you know, shootings are up, crime is up, the rallies are up. Are you worried that as the weather gets nicer like it is today, that means more crime in this city, more rallies?
Good. For the fifth straight quarter, the last two quarters it was hot outside also. And, crime still went down. 21,000 guns taken off the street, 90,000 ATVs, dirt bikes, ghost cars taken off the street. The cops are working, like John is there. John will give you the cops are working. But let's go back to the protest for a second, because you want to know what made me aggravated last night as I'm driving around and I'm watching on the cameras. Yes, Sid, the drones. My new X10 Skydio drones were there last night, and I gotta say the image crystal clear, like watching 5K. I felt like I was at the IMAX movie theater, and I was watching these pro-Palestinian protesters. First of all, they came into the Hasidic community, what is the intent there? What's the intent? And they were antagonizing the folks that was inside of the temple. So that's just not right. And the cops came there, did a great job putting themselves between forming a line between themselves and the 35 pro-Palestinian protesters that were there. And, you could look at the cameras. There was a couple of arrests last night. It got a little contentious, but the NYPD did a phenomenal job, a fantastic job trying to keep the peace there. And some of the hateful words that I'm watching on social media from that protest last night. And like I said before, this city will protect your democracy to protest. However, when you start crossing the line, going left, blocking traffic, impeding traffic, stopping ambulances and police cars from responding to emergency. When I watch these videos and the cops roll in, I only want to hear them say one word: put your hands behind your back.
I love it.
Can I ask one question?
Sure.
So I'm looking in the news today, and around the Vatican, they have these anti-drone rifles. Are we getting any of those, Kaz?
That's a good question.
Vinny, yeah, that's going to probably be a hard no.
You got to love the honesty. When you guys go out there, these rallies, and that was very funny, Vin. There is maybe it's a misconception. I know you're going to tell me it's a misconception, which means it's not. But you're going to say it anyway, because what are you going to do? So the misconception is that a lot of you guys would rather use more force at these rallies, but you're really not able to do as much as you want because you're kind of restricted by the politicians and the laws here in New York.
Look, I think the frustration comes with the rhetoric. We would love to do something about anyone spewing what comes out of anyone's mouth, right. But we can't, obviously.
But you're on my team, obviously. You're on the Israeli side, right?
I'm on the team of peace.
Right, that's the Israelis.
But when it comes to
just say it, goddammit, John. You're on my team.
Okay, I'm what? So
I want to bail you out.
Look,
hey, I'm a sergeant now too, so you better show me some respect.
Look, the protests, we're there to keep the peace, enforce the law.
Yeah.
Does it get frustrating for our cops to stand there and have someone berating them in their face? It's a very gray area what we can do, what we can't do, and that's the frustrating part. I think that's what you're trying to say.
Of course, yes.
But when we make arrests, we do it in a professional way, and It is frustrating for the cops. I'll be honest with you, and it's frustrating for me to stand there and watch it and not be able to. I can remove a cop from a scene who's being harassed, like in the face, the First Amendment. But we do what we have to do when we have to do it.
You guys are great. You want to say something, Kaz? Jump in. Go ahead.
Yeah, just to piggyback what John says is that it's these professional agitators, they got their phone, they got their cameras, they want to get that one clip, that one soundbite, that one image of whether it be a protester yelling into a cop's face, whether it be shining a light in his face, their cell phone light in his face. And the NYPD legal is always out these protests with us, with the officers, and they are guided by the legal department, the legal team. And if a protester is crossing the line, the NYPD legal is there, and they'll give the thumbs up when that guy crossed the line, and that person will be arrested.
Well, you can't beat that. So listen, on the way out here, Vince Valalong, the great president of the SBA, who just gave me this beautiful badge, I'm so honored, showed a picture. I guess I was kind of out of you just now, Vince. I'm sorry.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
Yeah. See, we're putting together this huge baseball game in July, and it's going to be the cops against the firemen. And, they want me to come, obviously, because I get along great with all you guys. And Robert Tucker is a friend of mine as well. I'm not going to lie. In fact, I'm closer with Robert than I am with Jessica. But I'm a cops guy. Anyway, so they're putting this game together. And they're like, can you get your cop friends to come down and play? Shell, Vinny, Kaz. I said, sure. If I ask them to come, they'll come. We're friends, and they're always willing to help. And then I just saw a picture, and what it said to me was, well, what team is Kaz going to play on?
Yeah, and so let me weigh in here just quickly. Yeah. So disturbing. At the hockey game, it's bad enough we're down 6-2 in the third period, and we're going on our 10th year in a row of losing. I go to the bathroom, and I swing by the FD, their room, beautiful room. I go, wow, look at this room. I thought I was important. They had a beautiful room. I walk in, I go, wow, look, the food. I turn to my right, and there's Judas. There's Kaz in an FD jersey. I said, what is going on here?
Well, there's got to be an explanation.
You'll let him speak. Get him on the record.
All right, Kaz,
get him on the record.
Why
Vinny.
were you in the FDNY room and wearing a fire department jersey when you're one of the highest-ranking cops?
Well, the jersey was very nice, I must say. It was a beautiful jersey. And, I got to be honest, when it was 4-2, I decided to go to the fire department suite and get a jersey because I already knew they were going to win. It's called winning, Sid.
Just make sure you don't call emergency service anytime soon.
I got to love his honesty again. You guys were losing. You had no chance of winning.
I was supposed to come to your house for a little gefilte fish party.
You didn't come. Cody Sleewa came.
I went straight home. I was devastated.
You were devastated. Cast. Well, you don't seem like a hockey player, John, are you?
Of course I like hockey.
No, I mean, do you play it?
Do I play it?
Vin, I've never seen John Shell on skates.
I can hardly walk. You want me to skate?
Never.
Well, listen, you guys are all amazing. I can't thank you enough. This badge means the world to me. Like, you have no idea. I can't even really put it in words how much it means. It choked me up, made me cry. So thank you, Vinny Valalong, for all you do for the sergeants and for New York City. Thank you, John Shell, for being
and thanks
everybody
for supporting our cops. They need all the support they can. And truly, they listen and that makes them feel good tonight when I go on the streets.
I love you all. And Kaz, you too, Kaz Daughtry. You're terrific. You're great. Thank you for the help with the SBA. Now get on the phone with Bob Ganley and get those retirees and Medicare, okay?
I'm Batman.